Good morning, I'm Erin with Body of Light Studio. Today we're going to do a yoga flow to wake up your spine, your hips, and energize you for your day. I've got 2 blocks and 2 blankets, which I usually use for practice. And let's start kneeling. You're going to tuck your toes and walk your knees a little bit backwards and sit up on your heels. We're going to stretch your feet. If this is too much for your ankles or your toes or your knees, you can sit either on a block. The block can go right between your ankles. You can squeeze the block between your ankles and sit on it. This will take some of the weight off of your toes. But if this bothers your knees, you can place a blanket between your calves and your thighs, so that the knees have less of an angle or less of an acute angle in the bend. And then you'll interlace your fingers, flip your palms, and take a big inhale. Sweep the arms up. Stretch your thumbs. And let your shoulders go really high up your back. Lift the top of your sacrum up into your spine. Lift the crown of the head a little bit taller. And then let your shoulders relax down your back. Keep stretching your palms open and straightening your arms. You want to ultimately have your arms back in line with your ears, but more important is that they are straight. So if they need to be a little bit forward so that you can straighten them all the way, then that's fine. You can inhale here and exhale. And you'll bring your hands down. Same pointer finger on top. You're going to interlace your hands behind you and stretch your elbows. Observe when you do this, does your abdomen spill forward or does your heart sink back? You want to keep the lift in the spine, a nice long lifted front of the spine. Take your arms up as high behind you as you can, keeping your shoulders back. And then even though the shoulder blades, your scapula, are coming together here, see if you can widen the space between the shoulder blades out into your upper arms. Relax your jaw and release your hands down. And then we'll do the same thing. You're just going to switch the interlacing of your hands. So if you had your right pointer finger on top last time, you're going to do the left or vice versa. You interlace the fingers, flip the palms, rotate your triceps, the backs of the arms down towards the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. You're trying to keep the pinky fingers interlaced. And now your triceps are going to be rotating in the direction that you're facing. Ankles are hugging together, or if you're sitting on a block, you're squeezing the outer inner ankles into the sides of the block. We've been here flexing our toes for a little bit now, so maybe you can walk your knees backwards to increase the flexion in the ankle and get more of the toes on the ground. Inhale, feeling your ribs widen out into the sides of your body. Exhale, feel the heart soften, the scapula glide down the rib cage. Another inhale and exhale. And you'll bring your hands down, same pointer finger on top. This is probably the awkward one, so it might take a second before you figure out which hand is on top, and then bring your arms up behind you. I fell and hurt my elbow, so I have my hands loosely interlaced. You can have a tight fist or even flip the palms behind you, which I'm not going to show you right now because my elbow isn't healed yet. Keep taking shoulders back, hands up, broad chest, broad upper back, lining up your ears with your shoulders, with your outer hips. You can inhale and exhale, release the hands down. And then you'll come off of your padding, if you're on any, come onto your hands and your knees, just slap your feet out. And then you can do some ankle circles, and we'll sit on your heels. Again, you can have a block underneath your sitting bones, maybe on the wide setting, underneath your sitting bones here, or lower, or again, a blanket on top of your heels between your calves and your thighs. And we're just gonna start to warm up the spine. So you'll nod your chin to your chest, roll down one vertebra at a time, Snake the head forward and up. Take an inhale as you snake up. And exhale as you roll down. And we'll keep going like that. I'll talk to you as you continue to move at your own pace. You exhale on your roll down and you inhale on the roll up. Be really articulate, especially to the vertebra behind the heart. And imagine that each vertebra could lift up off of the one underneath it, almost like you could scrape the ceiling with your spine before you roll down. Couple more times, paying extra attention to your lumbar spine, which doesn't have a lot of flexion. You want to anchor the tail down and get more space between each lumbar vertebra as you roll down. And as you roll up, the sternum glides forward, the heart floats up. Let's do that 2 more times. And from here, you'll come onto your hands and your knees. Move my little blankets backwards. And you're gonna circle your pelvis as fast as you can. Other things can go along for the ride. My ribs are moving, my head's moving a little bit, but you really wanna focus on the tail, on the pelvis moving. It's as if you're tracing circles on the walls behind you with your tail, and you're gonna go as fast as you can go. And you'll switch directions, spreading the palms, stretching the thumbs towards one another. Make sure you have weight down in your pointer finger knuckle. A couple more really fast circles. And then you'll come to a neutral spine position. Lift your head, lift your tail, stretch the sides of the waist forward. You're in a cow. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, push the floor away with your hands and your knees. Your head releases down, and you're rounding the spine to the ceiling in cat. Inhale, cow. Hands are energetically widening, like you could stretch your mat wider so that you can pull your heart forward. And then exhale, beginning again from the tail, round into a cat. Shins press down. Hands and knees grow into the floor, head dangles, triceps wrapping back. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Spread the palms, the fingers, and the toes. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. You'll come into a neutral spine, tuck your toes, let's warm up the core. You're gonna take an inhale, expand the abdomen with your breath. And on your exhale, lift your organs into your spine, the low visceral organs, the abdominal viscera, the intestines, the bladder. Inhale, release it down. And on your exhale, low intestines lift into the spine, grow the head away from the tail. Let's do that one more time, expanding the abdomen as you inhale. And exhale, lifting navel to spine. This time you'll take an inhale. Exhale, draw the navel in. You're going to keep your toes tucked and hover the knees just about an inch away from the floor. Rotate the tricep backwards. Grow the head away from the tail and the tail away from the head. Firm in your pointer finger knuckles down to the ground. You can dig into the ground with all of your fingertips like you're digging into sand. Inhale, release the knees down, expand the ribs, the abdomen. Exhale, draw the navel in, hover the knees. Stay here for a round of breath, being mindful of the weight in your hands, even on the right and left sides, using all of your toes, spreading pinky toe, big toe. Tap the knees down, take a breath in. Exhale, navel draws in, keep it lifting to the spine as you hover your knees. Inhale, lower the knees. And exhale to hover. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, lower. Triceps wrapping back. As you exhale, hover the knees. Inhale, lower. Exhale, belly draws in. Lift the bladder up the front of the spine. Inhale, lower. And exhale to lift. Lower your knees to the ground, untuck your toes, separate your knees as wide as your shoulders, and press back into a child's pose. You can rest your head on the ground or on blocks if your head doesn't reach the ground. If your pelvis is high away from your heels, you'll want to pad underneath your pelvis. So you can put a blanket underneath your heels, and then if you've got your head high away from the floor, you can put a block underneath your head. And you'll walk both hands over to the left, and we'll stretch the right side of your body. Your left arm is bent, and you're going to push the ground down and away from you with your left hand so that you can ground your right sitting bone to your right heel and walk your right hand way away from your right hip. You can let your head release down onto the floor or a block. Take a couple deep breaths into your right armpit. Imagine that you have nostrils in your armpits, and you're going to inhale through your right armpit directly into your right lung. Sending the breath all the way down into the right pelvic half, into the right waist. And then walk your hands back through center and over to the right. We'll stretch the left side of the body. So now your right arm is bent. You're using your right arm to push it down and away from you so that your left sitting bone drops to your left heel. Stretch your left arm away from your left hip, and you want to find a nice side bend so the whole length of the spine is curving here. You're in a C curve. And now you place your nostrils in your left armpit, and you inhale directly into your left lung, breathing all the way down into the left pelvic half. Feeling the left lungs expand, head heavy on the ground, neck and shoulders relaxed. And then you'll walk your hands back to center, head down, hands underneath your shoulders, and you'll roll up to sit on your heels. Let's come up to stand, and you can place your blocks down on the mat in front of you. And we'll step our feet wide apart. You want to have your feet about as wide as your wrists. Have your feet parallel to one another, and you're going to press your outer heels down into the ground. Feel your adductors, your inner thigh muscles widen out into the inner thighs. You're going to bend your right knee, shift your weight over to the right, and you're going to hinge forward from the pelvis. So you're in a long, straight line from head to tail. And then come back up to center, press the right heel to straighten the right leg. And then we'll just take that to the other side, bend the left knee. Pelvis rolls over the tops of the femurs. So the sitting bones lift up away from the heels. The crown of the head is growing forward away from the tail. You're still pressing the heels down, spreading all of your toes, reaching out through your fingertips. Take an inhale, and then exhale, press into your left heel. You'll lengthen your legs and stand up. We'll bend the right knee. Inhale, hinge at the hips, shift to the right. And then keep your spine low. Exhale, bending the left knee, shifting to the left. You're gonna think outer hips on both sides, going back. Inhale, bending the right knee, shifting to the right. Maybe you're starting to get a little bit lower. And coming through center, shifting over to the left. Weight in the heels. All of the toes are on the ground. Let's do a couple more times, side to side. Inhale, right. Exhale through center, shifting over to the left. Take an inhale. Exhale through center, shifting to the right. Breathing in, press out through your left heel and switch. And then you inhale, press out through your right heel. And then come back to center. Bring your hands onto the floor or your blocks if you need some extra height. And you'll release your head down to the ground. Bring your hands back by your heels, or you can stretch your arms forward. Either way. If your hands are back by your heels, give your head a little shake. No. The head is dangling down off of the spine like a ripe peach. And then everybody walk your hands forward. Find a nice long spine. Rotate your triceps down to the ground. The shoulder blades are drawing slightly in towards the spine and up towards the pelvis. And you know you've got some good shoulder engagement if when you release your head, your ears are in line with your arms. If your head is below your arms, you're probably hyperextending in your shoulder girdle. So you want to lift your chest away from the ground. Again, rotate your triceps down, shoulder blades on the rib cage, and head releases. And then you'll walk your hands back, heel toe your feet in about outer hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider, and you'll sit down into a squat. You can prayer your hands, and a block is here for you if you need either to rest or some extra height underneath your hips. You're going to take an inhale, exhale, grow the head taller, release your tail down. One more breath. Exhale. All right, this time we're going to do some squats. You're going to take an inhale, and on your exhale, feet press down, arms go up. Bend your knees into a deep squat. The knees are gliding forward out over the toes. Make sure that the middle of the knee is right over the second and third toes. And then exhale, press up. Let's do a couple more like that. Inhale to lower. Exhale, reach the arms up as you push into the heels. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press up. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, lower. Spread the toes, press the heels, stand all the way up. Navel draws up the front of the spine. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press up. Last 2. And press. And 1 more. And press up. Bring your feet together. Well, not all the way together, but about hip socket distance apart. Stretch the arms up. I'm going to face sideways. And you'll forward fold over your legs into an Uttanasana. I like to have my hands on blocks and stretch my arms really far forward so that the spine is nice and long and I'm not over flexing in my low thoracic, which is a pattern of mine that I'm working on getting rid of. And again, head releases down. Even if your arms are stretching forward, you'll know you have good shoulder alignment if when your head releases, your ears are in line with your arms. And then you'll walk your hands or your blocks back, stretch the heart forward, take a breath in. Exhale, bring your hands onto your hips, squeeze your elbows together, stand up. Big inhale, arms up to the ceiling. And exhale, hands down by your sides. All right, let's sit down and get a little bit more spinal rotation. So we're gonna sit down into your outer right hip. You can have a blanket or a block underneath your right sitting bone if you need some extra height. If you have pain in your knees, sit higher, maybe 2 blankets, and then you're gonna twist to your right. Your left hand is outside of your right knee, and the right hand is on the ground, maybe your props behind you. Turn the left waist to the right waist. Turn your left diaphragm to your right diaphragm, and turn your heart to the right You're gonna look out the right corners of your eyes. And then you'll stretch your right arm up and over your head. Take a side bend, gazing down over your left shoulder. Where along the length of your spine can you curve the spine more? Imagine you have warm honey pouring out of your left ear. And you'll inhale to sit up, and we'll switch over to the other side. I'm just going to put my other blanket outside of my other hip. And you'll twist to your left. So the right hand is outside of your left knee. The left hand is on the floor behind you. Grow tall from the tail dropping down to the back of the skull, lifting off of your spine. Inhale into your left lung. Exhale out of your right lung. Turn your right low belly to your left low belly. Inhale into your left lung. Exhale out of your right lung. Turn your right diaphragm, your liver to your stomach, to your left diaphragm. Inhale into your left lung. Exhale, turn the heart. And you might even look out of the left corners of your eyeballs and twist your eyes to your left. And sweep your left arm up and over your ear, and you'll side bend to your right. Your left tricep is spiraling forward, and the entire length of your spine, lumbar, thoracic, cervical spine, is side bending. You can inhale and exhale, and then you'll inhale to sit up, and we'll switch over to the right. Twist to your right. You can inhale here, exhale, turn. Sweep your left arm up and over, inhale, side bending to the left. Stay for the exhale, let the honey drip out of your left ear. Inhale to sit up over your heels, shifting the pelvis to the left. Exhale, twist to the left. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and over. And exhale, your side bending in the heart. You still have a little bit of a twist to the left. Inhale up through center. We'll do that one more time each side. Exhale, shift to the right and twist to the right. Inhale into your right lung. Exhale out of your left lung and turn. Keep the slight twist to the right. Right arm sweeps up and over your ear. You side bend. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale through center. Exhale, shift to the left and twist left. Inhale, left lung. Exhale, twist. Left arm sweeps up and over. Take a breath in and side bend as you exhale. Stay for an inhale, nice and heavy in your right hip, and exhale. Come up through center, take a breath in, and you'll rest your hands on your lap. All right, let's do one more stretch to open up the hips. You're gonna lie down on your back. You might need a pillow or a blanket underneath your head. You'll lie down on your back with your feet standing on the mat and cross your right ankle over your left knee and draw your left knee up into your chest for the glute stretch. You can take a few rocks side to side, let the head roll with you. And then you're going to pause in the place where you feel the best, deepest stretch. And lengthen your left leg up to the ceiling. Flex the ankle. Use your hands on the back of your left thigh to glide the femur down into the glute, and then you'll circle the foot. Making round circles. You're carving out the space with your heel. And switch directions. Trying to keep the legs still. You're isolating the movement in your ankle, your foot, and your toes. And then you'll bend your left knee, left foot stands, right foot down. And we'll do the other side, left ankle over the right knee. Use your hands on the back of your right thigh to draw your right leg into your chest. And again, you can rock side to side. Feeling the transfer of weight across the back of the pelvis, across the back of the ribs, the skull. Pause where you feel the best, deepest stretch. Shoulders relaxing down, jaw is resting, tongue resting at the roof of your mouth. And you'll lengthen your right leg to the ceiling. Flex the ankle. See if you can do more flexion with your ankle and less with the toes. The hands on the back of the right thigh are guiding the right femur down into the glute. And then you'll circle your ankle. Notice where you shave off aspects of the circle. Make your circles really round. And switch direction. Nice long toes as you point to the ceiling, spreading all the toes as you flex the toes towards the ground. Bend your right knee, right foot steps down, left foot steps down. Knees together, feet wide apart. Rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And as you breathe, you're going to send your inhale first down into your pelvis. Then you'll fill your abdomen and then your lungs. So you're filling bottom, middle, then top of the torso. And on your exhale, you'll empty top of the lungs, middle, abdomen, and pelvis. So you inhale, fill the body from the bottom to the top, pelvis, abdomen, lungs. And then you exhale from the top to the bottom, lungs, abdomen, pelvis. Take a few more breaths like that, fully surrendering into your support. The tail is releasing down, the skull, the full length of the spine. All the ribs are heavy on the ground. Bring your hands down by your sides. Heel toe the feet in. Roll over to your side. And press yourself up to sit. I'm going to sit up on a block. And we'll rest our hands in our laps and close our eyes. Releasing your femurs down, your tail down, your pelvis down. The spine grows tall. The head floats. Seal the hands in a prayer. Connect your prayer to your sternum and bow your head. You can set an intention for today. Release your hands down into your lap. Head floats up and the eyes open. Thank you for joining today.